Tobela, goeiedag. Dear staff and students, we are halfway through the 2019 academic year, and soon our university will be on recess for winter, after what has been a successful semester. June also marks the celebration of Youth Month, a significant period in our history when we remember the young students who gallantly fought for quality education. On the 15th of June, I will be giving a keynote address in the Tshilidzi Marwala lecture, which will be held in Soweto. While significant strides have been made to address this in the last 25 years, since the dawn of democracy in our country, more work still lies ahead. In a country like ours, an equitable and quality education is the bedrock of social and economic transformation, a process that we have embraced and continue to implement with pride. Our commitment to this was reaffirmed by the recently released 2019 Times Higher Education University Impact Rankings, which listed UJ at position 5 in best 100 global universities in reducing inequalities. UJ and the University of the Western Cape are the only two South African higher education institutions listed in the top 10 of the THE University Impact Rankings, with James Cook University in Australia listed as the leading university in this important area. For this ranking, our university has been acknowledged for its diverse global profile, as reflected by the more than 3,000 international student enrollment from more than 80 countries and our strong links and partnerships with many universities globally. Constructive engagement amongst staff and students, as well as parents, the government, and corporate business in curriculum development, research projects, and funding, as well as knowledge and skills transfer, are among the factors that have contributed to this success. This could not have been achieved without your contribution. I thank you all. We continue to make this call as we surge ahead with our virtual intellectual dialogues via our cloud debates. This week, on Wednesday, the 5th of June 2019, I had the opportunity to engage with the latest edition of our online discussion titled Questioning the Answers, together with Professors Chris Adendorf and Moeketsi Litseka. We explored some of the modern-day technological developments that impact on us, such as implantable cell phones, reading glasses connected to the internet, and 3D printed cars, and even organs for transplant in the presence of the Fourth Industrial Revolution. If we are to participate in these initiatives that shape the future of our nation and be among the world's best players in developing solutions to humanity, we need to get real about the threats and opportunities provided by the Fourth Industrial Revolution. I engage with both staff and postgraduate students in the fourth session of monthly reading group on the book The Fourth Industrial Revolution, which was authored by Klaus Schwab. These sessions are reviews and lessons from my recommended book reads for each month, seeking to inculcate a culture of reading books and learning from different topics and sources as much as possible. Please join me in congratulating Professor Kim Berman, Professor in Visual Art, for her professorial inauguration at the start of this week. In her inauguration address, Professor Berman delivered a keynote address on art as a transformative practice, pathways to engaging change, an interesting perspective on the role of the arts as a promotional agency. Professor Berman presented three broad themes that relate to the telling of stories of change. Firstly, leadership in South Africa. Secondly, the challenge of decolonization in higher education. And thirdly, the crisis of humanism in the age of the fourth industrial revolution that potentially widens the vast gaps between the rich and the educated and the poor. Professor Berman, congratulations. Speaking of this week's news by Stats SA that South Africa's economy has shrunk by 3.2% should be a matter of concern for us all. The decline is the biggest fall in economic activity in 10 years, when the economy tumbled by 6.1% in the first quarter of 2009. While this decline in production in sectors such as manufacturing and mining have been cited as the contributory factors for the fall, it is concerning that almost all industries contracted when compared to the fourth quarter of 2018. More concerning is that if the economy contracts again in the next quarter, the country will enter a recession. This could prove costly, as many cash-strapped South Africans are already bearing the brunt of increases in the price of food and other basic commodities. The economic downturn comes against the background of steep increases in fuel prices. A number of economists have flagged depressed expenditure and investment in the economy, weak consumer demand, and the negative impact of load shedding as among the contributory factors for the contraction in the economy. This means that the government will need to get tougher in implementing some of the turnaround strategies identified by President Cyril Ramaphosa, as highlighted in his inaugural speech last week. Lastly, a number of our national sport teams participated in various international tournaments this month. The 2019 Cricket World Cup already is in full swing. The FIFA Women's World Cup kicks off later today, while the Africa Cup of Nations starts on the 21st of June 2019. I wish all the teams the best of luck in their respective tournaments. With my best wishes, Siyabonga, Bayadanki.